Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
This is the glorious one, Bobby Roode, and you're watching Going In Raw.
What's up, it's your girl, Sasha Banks, Legit Foster, and you're watching Going In Raw. You like that?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. And it's right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson. But it is taped live for the friendos over there on the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steven Larson. Of course, you can find the show in the audio realm wherever podcasts can be found. If you're watching us on YouTube, hey, hit that sub button and then click on that notify bell so you're always getting your new Going In Raw notifications. This past weekend, for example, on Sunday, we had 10 for the win. We're going to do something a little bit different this coming Sunday. I think at this point, the idea is to review Dark Side of the Ring, the Chris Benoit thing.
Yeah, correct.
Because the first one, we both watched the first one. They put it out early on YouTube, the first part of it. The second part's going to be going live tonight on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I think we'll record that sometime during the week, and then good stuff.
Yeah, you had that go up Sunday. Yeah. Yeah.
Also,
the first half was pretty good.
Yeah, no, solid stuff. Really solid stuff. I choked up during the Chavo bit.
Yeah.
So and then later on today, on Tuesday, we're going to be doing a live stream Dadcast. I'm just assuming it's Dadcast. However, I get the point. I get the idea. There's a lot going on in the world. So
you got that right.
And Ricky and Elliot are like the most tuned in guys with what's going on in the world.
You got that right.
And so I'm looking forward to talking to them. That's going to be happening, I believe, at 3 o'clock Pacific time, 6 Eastern, over at Internet Today TV. It's the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Internet Today TV. That's their address there. So be sure to sub and follow them on the Twitter.
Yes.
And that should be a lot of fun. I think we do have some new patrons here. I want to give a quick shout out on the Patreon. Patreon.com/Steven Larson. Bunch of reward tiers over there. Yeah, we got a new one. Joshua J. McGinnis, thanks so much for your support. As a patron, $5 and up, and a YouTube channel member, which costs $5 also, you have access to all our bonus material. Yesterday we did a power rank. We power ranked. Reasons why Braun Strowman is upset with indie wrestlers.
And today we're going to do Ask Steven Larson. We have enough questions. We could probably get 2 episodes out of all the questions we got. So we'll get 2 episodes. Maybe we'll do 2 episodes this week. Why not? It's a fun show to do. Yeah,
sure. We'll put one up, and then Friday we need something for Friday, or Thursday.
There you go.
We need something up for Thursday. So we'll do that.
There you go.
So, yeah, it's still strange times. We are still dealing with empty arena shows for the time being in last night's Raw. We saw, I think, they're slowly but surely figuring out.
Yeah, I mean, I think of all the empty arena shows they've done, sans the first SmackDown with Triple H, this is probably the best of them so far. They dispensed with all the empty chairs. They repositioned the camera, the hard cam, so it's facing the ramp. Instead of the chairs, they have like these pillars, these LED pillars with lights.
Yeah.
I would anticipate more of that kind of stuff, perhaps for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Really, I just feel like between this boneyard gimmick match between Undertaker and AJ Styles, which is probably gonna be a pre-film thing. I read on Cage Side Seats this morning. Someone posted, I think it was Gorilla Position, reported that they're gonna do something similar for Cena and Bray. That's gonna be a pre-film cinematic type deal.
I wonder if they can do a lot of fun stuff with the Fiend. They can go through the Firefly Funhouse.
Exactly.
They can do some Battles of the Arena type stuff. There's a lot they can do with that. And Cena, I kind of wonder, given that Cena has spent plenty of time on movie sets, I wonder if he'd come up with some visual ideas. Well, maybe the camera over there. Maybe. I mean, he's now experienced with like maybe the kind of filmmaking they're going to be going at with these matches. What this matchup is, maybe I wonder if he could bring anything to the table. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But yeah, and then it's according to, I think it was Alex McCarthy on Twitter from TalkSport. I think he said that he had heard that from his sources that I think today is the day that they're really starting to finalize the card. What matches are going to happen on what day? He says it's looking like a 16 match card, 8 for each day.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Part of it, I wonder. So there was also a couple announcements made for matches at WrestleMania 1, and these are two pretty much out of nowhere, but there are some varying reasons why. This first one, Aleister Black and Bobby Lashley are going to be fighting. There hasn't been any build for this. I'm not sure if this was always going to be the plan. I'd like to think that it was going to be the plan, and they would have had like a decent build or some sort of build for it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe how many?
We got no build instead. We got it's a week from Saturday is WrestleMania.
Okay, so yeah, we've got one go home. Yeah,
you got one more episode of Raw.
One more episode of Raw. They just announced Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley, sort of out of nowhere, and then kind of out of nowhere too. But at least they did something to
I
mean, they sort of did it backwards. Like they announced the match was going to happen, and then they sort of
they motivated it.
Then they motivated it. But we got the Street Profits defending their tag titles against Andrade and Angel Garza, and yeah, it's apparently Ray is under quarantine at this point.
Yeah, no news if he's sick with anything or just as a precautionary move, self-quarantining. But that was reported today that both he and Dana Brooke are not going to be participating at WrestleMania because they are in quarantine.
And then of course Carmella and Corey Graves are already quarantined. So yeah, I mean, it might have made a bit more sense for Authors of Pain or War Machine to be.
Razar's got a torn bicep though.
Oh yeah, that's right. I wonder what the deal with maybe
they probably just didn't want a face team versus a face team for the tag titles.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, there you go. There are the changes. Other than that, I thought that Raw had some really cool stuff going on. I think they're starting to figure out the language of what they could do with the empty arena. I mean, it still didn't have the energy of AEW's, but I thought there was some really strong stuff. I thought that Seth Rollins promo especially.
Yeah, that was really good.
I mentioned this on Twitter, man. I've never seen anybody give Kevin Owens cry face, but oh man, he was really close last night.
I feel like that was work cry face. That wasn't shoot cry face though.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I think like the Miz getting cry face. I felt like he was actually about to cry.
Yeah,
I felt like shoot cry face.
Man, this was a hell of a promo though. It was
really good.
This was a killer promo.
It was really good.
And then I thought that even the matches they had, I thought the tag match, save for the weird finish, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
Save for that,
really
I
good,
thought that match was fun.
It was fun.
That was a fun match. And then even in the Aleister Black match, I thought was pretty fun.
And even the two replayed matches were both really good. The Rumble 15 match with Brock, Seth, Cena, still to this day maybe my favorite Seth Rollins match.
And I would imagine next week they got to show the Seth cash in, right?
Maybe.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Maybe.
Because I mean, all three.
One of the narratives, especially, is that Seth is, like basically unbeatable at WrestleMania. It's got to be either that or his win over Triple H a couple of years back that we were there for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it could be that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: did you actually rewatch the Asuka Charlotte match from 35?
I was sort of in and out. I watched a little bit. It was better than I remember it being, though.
That's what I was going to ask you, because I remember you've always been kind of down on that match and rewatching it. I was always like, oh, it was pretty solid. I thought at the time, and rewatching again, it reaffirmed my belief that it was it's not a terrible match.
No, it's not. No, I never thought it was a bad match. I think my one gripe, I'll put it this way. I think my one gripe with the match was I think poisoned the rest of the match for me. And that was the finish. I thought that Asuka should have been a bit longer in the submission before she tapped out. But otherwise, it was a really good match.
I missed the end. I was out grabbing a snack. Because I really wanted to rewatch it and see if it was as short as you recall, or because I don't remember it being that short, and I watched it live. Did you catch the end?
Anything less than Stone Cold and the Sharpshooter is too short for me.
Oh,
so
right.
I have unrealistic expectations.
Yeah, or Shawn Michaels in the ankle lock.
Yeah. Because I thought that would have at least served to give Asuka the respect that she had earned in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I still think that it was too short. That being said, no, it was a terrific match. And one thing I was really paying attention to was, Asuka, she had her fair share of pretty stiff matches before she was in NXT in Japan. Like there's a match with her and Minoru Suzuki where he just, it's uncomfortable to watch at parts. And she was really laying into Charlotte. And so there are new things about that match that I've come to appreciate upon watching it last night. But I think, also back then I was just so high on Asuka, and I still am. But I've just sort of, I think, become numb to the fact that, okay, they're going to treat her pretty good, but just not to the level that I'd like to see.
Yeah.
But anyways, it kicked off with, where am I at?
We got a replay of the Brock Drew video package that was on 1 or 2 weeks ago. Don't remember what it was, but it was the same exact. I thought at first it was a new package, but it's the same thing. Which culminates in Drew saying he's gonna kick Brock squarely in the face with the Claymore. We go to empty arena or empty performance center. There is Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman in the middle of the ring. Heyman delivers a promo saying that we live in uncertain times, but I offer you the certainty of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
he's like dominant and stuff. Says Drew can do anything he wants. But he can't beat Brock. He says God's prayer line is going to give Drew a busy signal. That was a good line. But Brock can answer Drew's prayers by making his defeat quick and painless. But given what happened at the Rumble, given what happened a couple weeks back in Brooklyn, it'll be quick, but it won't be painless. It will be painful.
Yeah.
He says based on what Drew did in Brooklyn, he will be main event for years to come. But after Mania, Drew is just be another bee that tried.
Yeah, you missed. You're. Is this intentional or not? Are you skipping?
I'm not skipping it. I just don't remember the exact way he put it because I was typing that line as he said the other line, and I don't want to misquote him.
It was. I know the clause was something about he's going to douche Drew out.
Yeah, not familiar with that phrase.
I thought that I misheard him.
No, that's exactly what he said.
I was like, man, it sounded like he just said he was going to douche Drew out. That's funny. And then I saw on Twitter somebody said, yeah, Heyman just said he was going to douche him out.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I heard that right.
You did hear that right.
A little inappropriate, but that's okay. Whatever. that was
I'm not familiar with that phrase.
Neither am I. After that, they had the replay. And again, I had to look this up just to make sure. This one got 4 3/4 stars from Dave Meltzer.
Fantastic. It's a fantastic match.
This would have easily been the second 6-star match in history had it been in Tokyo Dome.
Yeah,
because holy crap, this match is so good.
It's so good. And it's a good match. I mean, it's not... If you want to have a full display of Brock's dominance, I don't know if you want to just do that, show Brock Cena from SummerSlam the summer prior. Where it's 16 minutes of Brock utterly destroying John Cena. And Cena barely mounts any offense in that match. But this is a much more fun match to watch to showcase Brock arguably at his peak, where he was just utterly dominant. Had the title at the time. This is before Seth cashed in on him. Just such a fun match. Still this day might be my favorite Seth Rollins match. It's so good.
Yeah, no, I agree. And the funny thing is, so somebody mentioned this also, it's like when Seth Rollins really came into his own in the main event. And that's one thing I sort of, I guess, took for granted a little bit because they had always treated everybody in the Shield like immediately they were main eventers.
Yeah.
You still have to get there.
I know.
And it's absolutely right. Seth always felt like a main eventer. Always. And so when he's in this match, I remember back then, I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about, okay, this is because sometimes you understand, okay, this person is getting to that next level. They're entering the main event scene. With Seth, it was so seamless that it never even occurred to me that, oh, now he's taking this step. And because he was just always that good. He was always
the Shield debuted in a main event spot being a CM Punk's muscle.
Yeah.
And they never really left that, even when they were the trio, the tag champs, and then Dean was US champ. They weren't exactly in the main event every week, but they were always in the main event picture as a group.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
So when they broke up, they were just all in the main event as singles wrestlers then.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but no, it was definitely fun to see. So yeah, if you guys didn't watch, it was, I don't think we even said what it was: Brock versus Seth versus Cena at the Royal Rumble 2015. Just a terrific match. After that, we had a recap of AJ Styles and Undertaker, and then we had AJ Styles with the OC dropping a promo, and this was great. Yeah, there you go.
Was great.
Put your head down, man. Let's see the look at that. Who likes tigers? And AJ Styles, you crossed the line making fun of my love of tigers. And Money Michelle.
Save the Tigers.
You could save the Tigers, but you can't save yourself, AJ Styles.
So the whole point of this AJ promo is to say that Taker is essentially a shell of what he used to be. He's got no mystique. He's lost his own house. Michelle runs everything. She runs him in the ground because she wants money. Essentially, that's the point of what AJ's going after here.
He made a pretty convincing case, too, because he pointed out that he was wearing maternity pants.
Yeah, stretchy pants. I thought they were going to say Spanx. Remember Spanx? I don't know if they make Spanx anymore.
I don't know if Gallows, Anderson, or AJ Styles would have heard of Spanx, though.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know. I think they're on the road too much, man.
Maybe. So,
but,
yeah,
but
AJ
Gallows definitely knew what maternity pants were.
Yes. So, AJ mentioned stretchy pants that Taker had on last week.
He asked Carl Anderson. He said, you know what I'm talking about, right? The one that pregnant ladies wear. And Carl Anderson said, diapers?
He said, depends.
He said,
depends?
No, he said, no, not diapers. Well, he's probably wearing those too. Gallows, you know what I'm talking about? Maternity pants. Oh, that's right, maternity pants.
Yeah. Then he makes reference to Tiger King. I haven't seen that Netflix documentary yet.
Has anybody captured the zeitgeist so quickly than Tiger King? Because he is everywhere, but I have not seen any of his show.
I haven't seen it either. Then he throws to some video that we've seen of Undertaker Michelle with the tiger at the Myrtle Beach Safari.
Yeah. You can get this. I did this coloring book page of the Undertaker and a tiger. You can get that at our Patreon free. You can print this out. Just print it out. Yep. And then on our Instagram at Steven Larson, I've been Insta-storying all the various pieces of artwork that we've been getting.
There's some quality submissions so far.
There's some great submissions.
Yep. So we get to see a chunk of that video. That's always great to see.
Yeah.
Then AJ says Undertaker hasn't been the same since he lost to Brock Lesnar. And AJ says, I want to take your soul, Undertaker, but hey, Michelle's beat me to it. The mystique is gone. And he continues, I don't want Mark Calloway at WrestleMania. I want the Undertaker from yesterday, but he's nowhere to be found. But AJ says, I have a plan to give WWE Universe what they want. I know how to bring back the dead man. And it's a match that the dead man would love to be in, a boneyard match.
Yeah.
Didn't really go into detail about what a boneyard match is, however.
So let's speculate. Obvious, first one, what do dogs do with bones? They bury them. Buried alive match?
Isn't boneyard another term for a cemetery?
Okay. So then maybe it's like a casket match, but the casket's already in the ground?
Buried alive match. That's what I'm thinking.
If it's like a buried alive / casket match. Like they dig a grave, put the casket in it, but it's open.
Yeah.
And then you got to dump the person in there. Then you win. That's sheer speculation on my part. I don't know. I have no idea. Are they going to find a cemetery and get like an empty plot? Have a match there?
Well, that's what AJ said. He said, I found the perfect place to bury you is the same spot Michelle picked when she buried your career.
Yeah, that's right. He was talking about plots. Yeah. But then, I mean, he didn't say where Michelle decided to bury your actual dead body when you're dead.
I'd assume it's somewhere I think Undertaker lives in Austin, so I'd assume it's somewhere in Austin.
Where do you go to have your career buried? Are they going to redress?
For a while, that was TNA, but I don't know what it is now.
Are they going to redress Full Sail to make it look like WCW Saturday Night?
Maybe.
That if you really want the advantage on the Undertaker, he hated WCW.
I know. Have him introduced as Mean Mark Callis.
Oh wow! Oh, why are you doing this to me? You finally got the better of me, AJ Styles.
You found my weakness.
And then like Ole Anderson comes out.
All you had to do is watch Broken Skull Sessions. What are you drinking? Are you drinking a water bottle or is that a giant energy drink?
I don't drink energy drinks, man. No, this is water. It's agua, but it's like Bama loves this because like she knows that we have a no soda rule.
Yeah.
But this looks like a soda can.
It does. It looks like a giant carbonated beverage.
It's just a water bottle.
All right. Yeah. You don't bring that one to the office, so I didn't know.
Yeah, no, I don't bring this. This is hers basically. I just took it.
Next, it was announced that the Street Profits be defending the Raw Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania against Andrade and Angel Garza, who, they're in a bit of a faction, a burgeoning faction with Zelina Vega. However, they're not a long-standing tag team such as War Raiders or AOP.
I'm going to give this a lot of confidence points when we actually do, if we do actually do predictions and the split. Like, I really hope they're going to film multiple endings for all these matches.
Yeah.
Because then we can actually do that stuff.
Yeah, that'd be great. Or I don't know how they'll do it. Find some way. So, I guess if only essential personnel is there, find a way. I don't know how to get the results from leaking out.
Yeah, that is not going to happen.
Probably not.
People just love to leak.
Apparently, yeah. Street Profits are totally winning this.
Yeah, this is an easy one. They're totally going to win this. And then we had an interview with Zelina Vega, Andrade, and of course the dashing, charming Angel Garza, who was still in full charm mode there for Charlie Caruso. That was the high point of her night. The low point, of course, was being just terrified by Shayna Baszler. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Charlie asks how they're preparing for their title match at WrestleMania. Vega says tonight they're going to show why they're the best, and Andrade will be the most decorated champ currently in WWE because he would have 2 championships. Andrade says the Profits want the smoke. Now, he seems to be misunderstanding the metaphor of we want the smoke because he kept on putting either a cigarette or a J.
It looked like Vega was like, Don't do that anymore.
I think you're right about that. It's like, whoa, this is PG, dude.
She was like,
can't insinuate the sticky icky. And so yeah, he says, I don't want the smoke. Yo quiero the titles. And then Garza says both he and Andrade know what they want. And he looks Charlie up and down. They leave, and Charlie starts to talk again, and then Angel Garza comes back in, and he has removed his pants.
Well, no, he was kind of like winked at her or something. Obviously flirting with her.
Hey, take over for a bit because Bama's school is calling me right now.
Okay. All right. One interesting detail of this particular interview is that you notice that Garza and Andrade now have matching haircuts. Garza shaved the sides of his head to have the same kind of hairstyle as Andrade. Next, we got a Edge Randy Orton recap. It was advertised later on that Orton would be responding to Edge's Last Man Standing challenge, which in fact happened in the main event segment. After that, tag match, Andrade, Angel Garza taking on Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. Now, Andrade and Garza come out to the ring first. Ricochet's making his way out. Andrade tries to sneak attack him, and Andrade, Ricochet, as he's hitting the ring, takes them both out. And then Cedric makes his way down to the ring, go to commercial, come back. And one really weird thing about the beginning of this match was like Angel Garza was just goofing off, trying to get the tag in. So the first time he wanders halfway down the apron, tags himself in. The ref's like, no, you have to hold on to the tag rope. You got 18 inches from the turnbuckle to tag in. And Garza's acting like he's confused about the rules of tag team wrestling. I don't know if that's a particular story beat or what. And then later on, he goes to the corner, the opposite corner, and grabs that tag rope. Everything okay?
Yeah, now everything's fine.
Right. I was just talking about how Garza was goofing off when trying to tag himself in the beginning of the match.
Yeah. So like that ref was being pretty hardcore about that tag rope, huh?
Well, I mean, that's the rules, man. You're supposed to hold on to that tag rope. It's supposed to be within 18 inches of the turnbuckle and tag in. You can't be at the other turnbuckle down the way.
Okay, so that I totally agree with. But I swear I've seen people, maybe it's just AEW, not literally holding the tag rope.
No, it's like you got to be in the turnbuckle. And if you're away from the
seemed like he was really close to it. Now then,
no, the first time he tagged in, he was halfway down the apron.
He's got long enough arms. He could have done this and he would have been fine.
Well, then he's got to be holding that tag rope when he does that.
The great thing is, though, is when he did, he was like, all right, cool, here's a tag rope. It's at the wrong one. I was like, dude, funny. God, you've been doing this. Like, Angel Garza's like, what, mid-20s? He's probably been doing this for 10 years already.
Oh, if not more.
Exactly. He knows better.
I think he was goofing, trying to be a distraction so Andrade get the upper hand.
And that's what was happening right there because he's doing all that stuff.
Another thing I mentioned while you stepped out was that Garza cut his hair in the style of Andrade.
He did. That's right.
Matching haircuts now.
Yeah. No, it was really good stuff. It was really good stuff. This match was a blast.
It was fun. So he's goofing. And at one point, Andrade does take advantage of the distraction, pushes Ricochet off the top rope, and then Garza tosses him the LED screen. Street Profits come out. They join commentary. Montez is pretty low key on commentary.
Yeah, I don't know if it was. Montez, here's the thing about Montez. He needs to find like a medium voice because his deadpan voice is really like quiet.
Yeah.
And then obviously he's over the top with his big voice. And so when he's out there trying to deadpan a little bit, you can't hear him. Whereas Angelo Dawkins is just the same volume the entire time.
Yeah.
That's
I did
sort
like
of how
Montez's
is.
line because Phillips asked him, "What's in your cup?" And Montez just goes, "Happiness."
Yeah, that was good. No, he had a couple of good lines. And then Tom had a couple of good lines during this too. But did you talk about Ricochet's freshly shaved baby face?
No, I haven't gotten that yet. He shaved all his facial hair off.
Yeah, he looks like a different person from like 10 years ago.
That's main event Ricochet, I guess.
Oh, hey, he got rid of the. I hadn't seen him on main event though. He got rid of the trunks. He had like full on pants now.
Yeah, he had pants on last night.
So that was rad.
Why don't you like the trunks?
Because he lost in them a lot, and I'm like, hey, you got to go with what works.
In his pants before.
What?
See, he was losing in pants before that.
No, he didn't. He got his title shot in pants.
Yeah,
and he came out for that match with Brock and Trunks and squash, and then main event, losing on main event.
Who's he losing on main event to?
Didn't he lose like Eric Young or something?
No, he wrestled Eric Young. No one's losing to Eric Young on the main roster.
It was kind of the same thing, man. Is it really?
I'm not saying he's winning by being on main event, but at least he's not losing on main event.
Riddick Moss. He lost to Riddick Moss.
Beat him. Yeah, that's still weird. And then R-Truth rolls him up later in Winter Park, Orlando.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways, yeah, I know. So Ricochet's isolated for a while. We got to see Garza rip off his pants, which is always great.
Oh man, another thing. Sorry, I don't know if you mentioned this, but there was a sequence of chops where
great. Yeah, it comes later.
Without the people in that arena, it echoes.
It's so good.
Echoes. It's so great.
Like, they should just lean on all the chops for these matches because, gosh, it makes it so much. Just hearing them, like, ring out thunderously through the PC is fantastic.
Somebody sent either me or both of us a...
the slap video?
Oh, my God.
That's good.
That was loud.
That was loud. That's great stuff. So Ricochet's isolated for a while until he hits an Enziguri. Frankensteiner gets a tag to Cedric. Garza's into Cedric, clears house. It's good to see Cedric on Raw and get some offense in. Hits flatliner on Garza, gets a 2. Andrade runs in later on to break a pin, and he starts doling out some chops. This is when he's like doling out chops to everybody. Then eats double super kicks from Cedric and Ricochet. Garza goes up top for missile drop kick. Ricochet hits him with a drop kick in midair. We go to commercial, come back. Ricochet has upper hand until Andrade toe holds him into the corner, follows with the double corner knees. That gets him a 2. Cedric is isolated for a while. Ricochet breaks up a pin, I believe, tosses Garza out, takes him out with a tope. Cedric hits a Michinoku driver on Andrade, gets a 2. Cedric goes for a lumbar check. Andrade reverses that into a roll-up, stands up. I don't know if he knocked out Cedric, but he rung his bell with like one of the most vicious-looking back elbows I've ever seen.
So you didn't think... I watched this a couple times, and I couldn't tell if this was just an amazing sell job or if his bell was actually rung, because that might play into the finish of the match here.
Yes, that's why I thought, because the ref is down there counting 2, pauses, and then hits the 3 count. But there was an obvious pause, like he thought Cedric was going to kick out.
Yeah, no, there totally was. Yeah, he did 1, 2, and then went and then paused and then sort of tapped his hand and said, "No, that's it. We're done.
Yeah.
That's 3 because he has to count as a shoot." So yeah, I mean, you go back and you look at the replay, and I mean, the only angle that I can really see, I mean, Cedric either does a magnificent sell job, which we know he can do.
Yeah, totally.
He spits, though. There is a wad of spit that comes flying out, and I don't know if wrestlers do that for... I mean, I know that wrestlers do that for dramatic effect.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know if that's something that would occur naturally. I just don't know.
Well, it could also be a situation where something that he's prepared to do when he's selling the move does it.
Happens anyway.
No, that's a process you have to begin before the elbow actually hits you. So the spit's flying, and before it even registers how hard he had been hit, spit's already in the air.
Yeah. Anyways, I mean, that was a true Judas effect there.
Yeah, it was.
One Nava 3 here in chat points out.
So the Street Profits, there's some trash talk going on between the Street Profits. They're like, "Hey, we just want to congratulate you for the match. Good job." and Andrade's yelling at them about wanting their championship. So the Street Profits come down the ring. A brawl breaks out. Profits clear the ring. They have a match coming up next.
Yeah. And that match was against
Shane Thorn.
Yeah.
And Brandon Vink.
Yeah.
Now, we'd seen a lot of Shane Thorn in NXT. I don't recall seeing Brandon Vink.
I think he's on.
It's Brendan or Brandon.
He's on the house show circuit, and he plays heavily in Evolve too. I think Gabe had said something like he was up for a Evolve title shot WrestleMania weekend.
He's a large dude.
He's a big dude. And it's always good to see Shane Thorn and how he sags his trunks a little bit. So like the top of his
Brendan
ass crack.
Brendan Vink. I like Shane Thorn a lot. I think he's really good.
Yeah, I like Shane Thorn too. And he had a good. This was essentially a squash match, but
yeah, more or less.
But Thorn, he looks good with whatever he does. So yeah.
Street Profits picked up the win as expected. Ford gets the pin on Shane Thorn after spine buster from Dawkins and a frog splash from himself.
Yeah, it was a good looking frog splash too. Tag matches. Tag matches always feel they're always a bit better than singles matches in the empty arena. Just in general, you have more people in there. Like at one point early in that Garza Andrade match, Garza was on the apron like trying to start up a "Let's Go Andrade" chant.
Yeah.
Which was great because then he looks out into the crowd and is like, whatever.
There's nobody there. There's just a bunch of LEDs and they're not going to chant with me.
Probably not. After that, we had Riddick Moss trucking around town in his suburban Orlando.
Yeah, it looked like Winter Park
neighborhood, and he had the 24/7 title on him. A small, like sort of burnt orange, I don't know, Prius or something rolls up to him, and it's
probably a rental car.
For sure, a rental car, and it's being driven by a referee. And he's like, "Hey, get over here! What are you doing? Where is he? Where is he?" And then R-Truth comes out of the trunk, sneaks out of the trunk, rolls up Riddick Moss to get that 24/7 title back. So obviously a 24/7 title is one of those things that might lend itself to some entertainment value at WrestleMania, and that's the direction they want to go. Again, because they've done zero with Riddick Moss having this 24/7 title, except for job out Ricochet to him. So that was a wasted opportunity there, I guess.
It really was. After that, Shayna Baszler interview. So she's sitting in the ring next to Charlie. I don't know if they did I think Brian Zane pointed this out, whether it was a forced perspective thing. I know Shayna was sitting up very straight in her chair. The idea was to make herself look as imposing as possible.
She was sitting very abnormally, because look, I posted this picture on Twitter. I've interviewed Shayna Baszler before, and she was like the most laid back presence there possibly was. But no, she obviously, and then if you look down at the chairs, the legs of her chairs were slightly closer to the camera than Charlie's was. So there's that forced perspective thing. But no, she was just big dogging. And then you look at Charlie and she sort of has a slump. So whoever did that just directed it properly so that Shayna was like, and this was a really cool interview. I really like this. I thought it was great.
It was good. So Charlie puts over her dominance, all she's done, WWE and NXT, and then asks Shayna how she'll conduct herself if she becomes champion. And Shayna's like, "Are you nervous, Charlie?" It's okay. I don't bite. And Charlie says, "Well, I'm happy you mentioned that because should Becky Lynch expect that level of brutality at WrestleMania?" And Shayna's answer was great. No, she should just expect to lose. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
And she's like, "All right, Charlie, ask me the question you want to ask. Why do you like destroying things so much? Doesn't your appetite for destruction preclude you from winning the championship?" And she says, "No, I want the title because I love to destroy, because I know winning that title will destroy Becky Lynch." And before she really gets on to her next thought, I think Charlie's about to ask her another question. Becky comes behind, bang, attacks her with a chair, hits her a couple times, and just walks out.
Yeah. This could very well be the go home segment between the two of them.
Could be. Which,
if you plug in the math numbers, which I can do here on my computer, yeah, Shayna's going to win that match.
Shayna's going to win.
Yeah, Shayna's pretty much. After that, we had. By the way, Shayna was wearing a Mike Tyson shirt, who also had a predilection for biting people. Aleister Black versus Leon Ruff. We've seen Leon Ruff before.
Yeah.
I think he fought Aleister Black before.
He He might have.
I think he was the guy. Because somebody on Twitter, that's why it just triggered it. Somebody on Twitter, I think, said, I want to see the trilogy. So yeah, I think this was the guy before that got him. And I really love that they were playing with the idea of sound here, because Aleister Black starts out and he just sits down, and Leon Ruff's like, I don't know how to handle this. And he's like, ref, stand him up. He's like, stand up, Aleister, stand up. He's like, telling the ref, can you get him? And the ref says, he's not my opponent. He can do whatever he wants. He's like, you want to attack him? Attack him. And he's like, I don't know what to do here. So he goes for the kick. Aleister ducks it, gets up. Leon goes for another kick. He grabs it. Black mass. It's done.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, the silence definitely worked.
Totally.
For this match.
Yeah.
It worked pretty well.
After that, Kevin Owens comes to the ring. He's got something to say.
Yeah, it didn't last very long for him, though, because he said, hey, Seth, just come out here and talk to me, essentially is what he said. And then so Seth obliges and then drops one of the better promos of his entire career.
Man, this might have been the promo of his career, and it was really well directed also, because the entire time he social distanced himself from Kevin Owens. He circles around the ring as he's talking about his role in WWE and how he basically, if it wasn't for him, why are you finger wagging right now?
Leon Ruff did face Aleister Black on Main Event last week on the 16th.
He didn't fight him on. Okay, who did he fight on Raw before? Because he fought somebody before.
I don't know if I don't know if he's been on Raw. He's been on NXT. He's been on.
Was it 205?
It might have been 205. I'm looking through his Pro Fight DB.
Okay, so it was the main. Okay, so it was main event.
A lot of evolved stuff.
That's why they want the trilogy.
Yeah, this looks like an episode of NXT.
Okay, all right.
In a tag match, it was himself and Adrian Alanis against the Forgotten Sons.
Okay, that sounds right. So anyway, Seth, he sort of comes down, and this is kind of cool, man. He didn't do the thing where he had to get his entrance in, looking at all the people that aren't there. So he sort of starts out at the top of the ramp, and as he talks, he walks his way down. Throughout the promo, he walks around the ring, and he says, "Yeah, this PC, it's pretty nice. This is a nice place." It's like, Kevin, you talked a lot about how you got your job from this place, from your tryout. He was like, I didn't get that. I didn't get my job from the PC because it wasn't even built yet when I got here. He says the PC was built on my blood, sweat, and tears, on my sacrifice. He talks about going to a warehouse to train when he signed and was told everything he did didn't matter.
Yeah, everything he did prior to
everything he did prior to that didn't matter. Yeah. Although they hot-shotted Seth as soon as he got there. So...
Yeah, I think he was FCW champ maybe, and then he was the first NXT champ. So
yeah, they knew Tyler Black was a big deal.
Yeah, Seth says I've been rebuilding the system from the ground up since I've signed with WWE, and he's been trying to do that on Raw. But Kevin, you keep getting in the way. Essentially, you won't bow down, you won't follow my lead. It's an issue. And he says, but he circles back around and says there'd be no Performance Center, no NXT, no Tommaso Ciampa, no Johnny Gargano,
no Women's Evolution. He even said there'd be no Women's Evolution without him.
No Undisputed Era without Seth Rollins. Oh, and also without Seth Rollins, there wouldn't be a Kevin Owens. And then so Seth asks Owens, why did you pick WrestleMania to make an example of him, given all that I've done at WrestleMania? He lists off accolades, winning a Universal Championship, cashing in, Intercontinental title. I don't remember if he mentioned beating Triple H, but that's another thing he's done at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and at one point, Kevin tries to interject. He says, listen, Seth, and he's like, no, you listen to me. Just let me finish. And then he just eviscerates him with this last bit here.
Yeah, he says, I've done all this, and what have you done, Kevin? Nothing. Where were you last year? Oh, yeah, you weren't even good enough to make the card.
But the way he delivered it was so great. He said,
and it was close. It was tight. It was
they were. Yeah, exactly. The camera direction, the TV direction was really good. He says, oh, yeah, you weren't even good enough to make the card last year. And it really just sinks in when he says it like that.
And then Seth says, here's the thing about me in WrestleMania. Under pressure, Seth Rollins becomes God. And he says, Kevin, you just don't stand a chance.
Yeah, so Kevin Owens totally going to win that match.
Yeah, he's totally winning that
match. After that, that's gonna be a good match.
I hope so.
That's going to be killer.
After that, we got Asuka versus Charlotte at Mania 35. Fun match.
Yeah.
Really good match.
Yeah.
And then to close the show, we had Randy Orton come out to the ring to respond to Edge's last man standing match challenge. But he said, first, I need to apologize to your wife, Beth Phoenix. I said that you were a junkie for the crowd when I spoke to her. However, that's not the case, Edge. You're a junkie for your own ego. Adam Copeland is a junkie for Edge. He just said that Edge is a mark for himself. He says he admits, I was handed every opportunity when I first got here because of my last name. But that doesn't guarantee a Hall of Fame career. Talks about Edge referenced Foley about how Foley passed the torch to both Edge and Orton. And Orton says, no, it took me getting dropped on thumbtacks. And I grabbed that torch from Mick Foley. He says the only thing that's ever been handed to me was opportunity, but he's earned everything he's got because he's got grit. To Randy Orton, grit is longevity in a business that doesn't have any. He's always there, Randy Orton is. He has been for, 18 years now. He's there every day.
Every day.
Every day. And he says because of that, by his definition of grit, he says he looks around the locker room every show, and there's no one in there that comes close to accomplishing everything that he's done.
Yeah.
And he says because of that, no one has as much grit as Randy Orton, including Edge. And he says still, everything I said up to now has been true. Everything I've done is because I love Edge and his family. But now that Edge has challenged him to this last man standing match, Edge may be writing this story, but at WrestleMania, Randy is going to write the last chapter. He accepts Edge challenge. Match is on.
This would have been, I think, in a vacuum, this promo was really, really good. It's just the Seth one stuck with me.
Yeah, I know.
So, and then on top of that, I feel like we had sort of the definitive Edge thing last week, and they probably could have left it alone. Just have Orton tweet out, "Yeah, I accept." Last man standing.
Yeah, sure.
Why
yeah,
not?
sure.
Oh man. Anyways, let's see if there's some questions waiting for us.
We do have questions.
Let's see here. Greg Morris. Nobody else in the Discord. What's going on with that? He says, I can't think of a wrestling question today, so turn one movie into a porno, but the cast must stay the same, and you can't say Boogie Nights. The Notebook. I've never actually seen that movie.
Neither have I.
But I feel like people would want that to go to the next level.
All right. Fair enough.
Let's see here.
Prince C. Ross, when we get back to normalcy, should either Raw or SmackDown change up the camera setup and place the hard cam facing the stage ramp to give the show a different presentation feel? I'd be a fan of that. Yeah. I like seeing the ramp in the background.
No, it'd be too weird. Ring of Honor does it that way, man. You don't want to.
We're gonna get potentially another 2 or 3 months of this presentation, and then they're gonna go back to the old way of doing things, and it's gonna feel weird.
It'll feel like a warm blanket. It'll feel so nice. It'll feel like, oh, this is what I remember.
Michael Mygand, what if in order to still have some kind of fan presence for WrestleMania, each match had a different sponsored table at ringside, like the time KFC had one at TLC?
Only if populating the KFC table was Colonel Sanders.
HBK as Colonel Sanders.
Obviously. Or, Dolph as Colonel Sanders.
He's got a match probably at WrestleMania. He can't be moonlighting as Colonel Sanders and as Dolph for his match.
He's a professional getting paid a lot of money. I'm sure when the match isn't on, he can put on the Colonel Sanders outfit.
No, I'm saying he physically can. He shouldn't be. He's already got a performance to do on the show. He should be concentrating on that.
Well, why don't you just let him concentrate on making some of that sweet, sweet sponsorship money, man? You think HBK got a bonus for that?
Yeah.
Sure. Why? You think Dolph got a bonus for that?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, I think they'd have sponsorship deals.
Why are you trying to keep that dude from making all the money he can?
I'm not. I'm sure he's probably made money hand over fist in WWE.
Thomas Dunnigan, speaking of which, how far would Vince push a wrestler named Dick Pound? Could he get deep into a title picture?
Deep. So deep.
He can get the deep S. He could get balls deep.
Balls deep. Here's the thing, though. If Vince had a wrestler named Dick Pound, he wouldn't be sniffing the main event. He would be in comedy and celebrity things for the rest of his career.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
Because the name would make him laugh just too much.
Oh, it's a great
Vince
name.
seems to think that if you're a comedy wrestler, no way you're a main eventer.
Nope.
Tokyo Dome Hayes, how cheesy will this Boneyard match be? Very.
So, Yeah, it'll be cheesy, but it might be better. I mean, it's the Undertaker, and they can film this like in a really cool way. It'll protect the Undertaker's like, the physical weaknesses.
Maybe.
Good.
Alex Foster, should WWE add robots and holograms into the crowd for the foreseeable future?
Yeah. Just get weird with it. Try 1 week where you do that.
Yeah.
Add robots and holograms or holograms of robots.
Hey, no, what you do is you get the crowd from the intro to the SmackDown, the opening graphic.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Why don't you just film like in a green screen room?
Yeah, and there's that circle in the middle of all that, and just have the ring in there. There you go, done.
But it's like post-Roman's giant fist nuclear thing, so it's all like decimated. And the people are all the souls.
Oh, wow.
Of the people that died. That's if you really watch that, it's a really grim intro.
It is.
Because at the end, it just, all those people that are there, it's like Terminator 2, the scene in that.
Yeah,
when everybody gets
the nuclear
nuked.
bomb goes off, yeah.
It's horrible.
It is pretty bad. Greg Morris and kayfabe, what is a boneyard match and what will it actually be? It's going to be a buried alive match. Probably in a real cemetery.
I think the buried ass, there's already a grave dug, but there's a casket in it.
Yeah. So it's casket match and buried alive match. It's both those things.
Yeah.
Because buried alive is just there's a hole and you got to put dirt.
Yeah, you add the casket, it's a boneyard match. Because a buried alive match you can have anywhere. You can just dig a hole.
No, buried alive match was already a hole dug on the stage usually. That's what
yeah. That's already buried. Yeah, there's a hole there.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be in a cemetery. Boneyard is buried alive, but you're in a cemetery.
But also with a casket, because there's a a separate thing. Yes. David Prock, how do you think the 2 nights of WrestleMania will be split up? Will there be a SmackDown night and a Raw night, or will the shows be mixed? They'll be mixed.
So Alex McCarthy, in that tweet of his, said that they're looking at Shayna and Becky as one of the main events.
Oh, wow.
So I would think that would probably main event Saturday. And then...
that probably means Roman Goldberg's going to be main event night, too.
I think Brock Drew is a bigger thing than Roman Goldberg.
But it's Roman and Goldberg, and they probably have high hopes for that. And also, would they want 2 Raw events main eventing both nights from SmackDown's the Fox show? I just don't know.
That's a good point.
I don't know. Wolfpack for life. What superstar, past or present, would look weird without facial hair? I feel like Macho Man would look really strange without facial hair.
Have you seen like old pictures of him?
Yeah,
he always had an oddball look to him.
Yeah. Adrian C, any idea why WWE doesn't have any talent in the crowd like AEW did? Does a PC have different restrictions in daily place? Also, do you have an update on the friendo that was diagnosed with coronavirus last week?
That was J.S. Wooten, wasn't it?
Yeah, he said it was several weeks ago that he got the diagnosis, and I believe he's on the mend.
So in terms of why they don't have talent in the crowd, I suspect it's we sort of talked about this extensively during the AEW thing. I think it's probably a Vince thing. Like if storyline you could motivate it, I think they might actually they would have probably done that. But like AEW, like storyline wise, it's super motivated. Like all those characters cross paths a million times over. Then they just have like a different sort of, you've always said that AEW feels like one big show as opposed to Raw or SmackDown, which feels like segments.
Yeah.
And that's just it lends itself better to that storyline. It just wouldn't make sense. Like who would be out there?
And I also thought Vince would feel like having a handful of people in the crowd, whether it be fans or wrestlers, would make his show feel small.
That could be too. Yeah.
James Fletcher, with all of us in lockdown in the United Kingdom now, which wrestlers do you think would cope the best being stuck in their house, and who would cope the worst?
I feel like Gallus would cope really well because
they sit around and drink tea.
They just sit around and drink tea. We've seen them do that.
Mm-hmm.
Who would cope the worst?
Oh, Wild Boar.
Yeah, because he's a wild. I like. Let's just talk about NXT UK guys.
Yeah.
What about Jordan Devlin? Is he better inside or outside, or does it matter?
I think he would understand that the necessities of doing a lockdown. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wild Boar though, he's like, "Rrr."
Yeah.
He's like, there's no evidence that animals are getting coronavirus. I should be out. It's like, well, you're just saying that you're a boar.
Mondo Vulgare, since Werner Herzog apparently watches WrestleMania every year, I was thinking of what it would be like if they got him to direct it this year to make it more interesting without a crowd. We kind of got this question, I think, yesterday. Which director would you like to see be given free reign to direct WrestleMania, and what do you think it would look like?
So my answer at the time was the Coen brothers.
Yeah, mine was Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yeah. Yeah. If I had a power rank, I'd say the Coen brothers, I'd say Tarantino. Because he's a very pop culture, tuned in guy.
Yeah.
John Waters, another guy
that'd be good.
He's huge on camp. So I would say John Waters. And then it'd be interesting to see what Stanley Kubrick, if he was still alive, would do with number one, a live event where he can't. Well, I know they're taping this.
Yeah.
So could he do a match within the confines of a day?
Well, I know that would be the major thing. Kubrick always had an appetite for the absurd.
Sure.
And if you want to give for a second, for the sake of discussion, the conspiracy theory some credence, he already has experience shooting stuff probably in one take when he photographed moon landing.
Yeah. There's also could you imagine the 24/7 title being incorporated into something like Dr. Strangelove?
That'd be fascinating.
I would want to see that.
Me too. And by the way, Kubrick did not film the moon landing. That was real.
Were you there?
No,
were
I'm
you
just
on?
making a joke
Okay,
about it.
then how do you really know?
Yeah, the Earth is flat too, right?
I'm just saying there are questions that could be answered. I grew up and I've been told all this stuff.
Matt Field, what storyline going into WrestleMania is the most well told with the most careful detail? What's the best built storyline leading into Mania?
So until it was kind of waylaid by this stuff, I'd say Becky Shayna.
Mm-hmm. Although Shayna's promo was really good last night. I just kind of wish Becky had done more other than just hit her with the chair a couple times.
Yeah, I don't know what they had planned had all this stuff not happened. I'm not sure it would have been all that different. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I would say that they've actually, because they've used matches, they've used promos, they've used a lot of stuff. They've had Becky sort of take on a bit different of a persona, although they've sort of dropped that with, the way things are going now. I don't think they went as far as they could have, perhaps, with the Rocky III analogy that I always used to throw out there. So
they seem to have gotten away from that somewhat.
Yeah, she's not doing like the silly outfits and stuff. I really like that stuff. I thought it was good.
I did too. Apparently that semi truck she pulled up in last week, the week before, that was supposed to be part of her Mania entrance.
Oh, okay. Oh, what a bummer.
Yeah.
What a bummer. Gamer Realm. Do you believe the Monday Night Messiah gimmick is slowly killing itself? No, I think that he was actually enhanced last night.
Yeah. I think by and large, they kind of have been spinning their wheels with this storyline, just having a bunch of various tag matches to get to this point. And maybe based on the empty arena stuff, they forced their hand a bit and actually had Seth deliver that kind of promo. That probably could have happened. Yeah. But I don't know if he could have delivered that promo without circumstances being such as they are, where the Mania is going to have to be the Performance Center, because that seems to be such a vital part of the storyline they kind of inserted over the last couple of weeks. So
they've talked about it quite a bit. Let's see here. Snake Sosa says we're all building to Mania, but what happens after off season or carry on as it is now? I think that to their best of their ability, they're going to carry on as it is now. They're pre-taping stuff this week. They're going to bank a couple episodes of Raw. I think they're doing the Raw after Mania. So we're going to have that. And then we'll see. I don't know. I would think that there's so much discussion right now about what the economy could handle versus not killing people. And so I don't know. I would find it difficult to believe that we'd be deep into May before things opened back up. So there wouldn't be that much to have to deal with in terms of like new content.
Yeah, it remains to be seen.
Yeah.
Remains to be seen.
Yep. Any more questions on your end?
That's it.
Hold on. I'm sorry. There's just two more here in Discord. Jimmy Thomas, should the Shayna Becky match be like the match Shayna had with Dakota Kai?
Which one? They had several matches.
I don't know. FC and then Snake Sosa again. Then a follow-up question. Pre-taping Pre-taping, do you think content could get better as they plan ahead and not go week to week?
Maybe. I mean, it could be a situation where they have to plan a certain number of weeks in advance, and it's in the can. You can't really do much about it once it's in the can.
So last night,
haven't made changes on the fly.
Last night was live.
Yes.
I thought there was, so if I recall correctly, Meltzer said something along the lines of they wanted to tape it in advance, but
it was Fightful said the turnaround was too short to tape it, edit it, and then
get it to USA.
Whatever. Yeah.
But pre-taping stuff, I think that they'll be able to, like, if there's like, you know, botches in the matches like we potentially saw last night with that tag match, they'd be able to fix that with some editing. So yeah, I mean, in terms of, are they going to have any revelations that are going to make it, you know, when you have the ability to post produce stuff, you would think that it would, by that very nature, would make the content a bit better. But if they're going to have any, you know, huge revelations in terms of, wow, this is going to be super exciting now, I kind of doubt that, you know.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a little bit better versions of what we're getting now.
Yeah, they're gonna adhere to the formula that they've been employing for a while. So
yeah, pretty much.
Don't expect anything different.
All right. Anyways, that's it for now. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Patrons and YouTube channel members will be back for an Ask Steven Larson, so keep your eyes open for your notifications.
Yep.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.